welcome to Flower Press, a series where we chat to inspiring leaders, creators and visionaries, all whilst arranging beautiful blooms. Today I am very excited to be here chatting to the very gorgeous Connie Cao, who is a woman of many hats. She is an expert at permaculture gardening. She is an author of Your Asian Veggie Patch. She is a photographer, a content creator and an influencer. And I feel like I haven't even covered it all off. But welcome, Connie. Thank you for coming.
Thank me.
Oh, you're absolutely
I'm
welcome.
To see, where you work and this incredible brand that you've started from scratch. Yeah.
A long time ago, yeah. Thank
I feel like
you.
I've been here I feel like I've witnessed the whole journey.
You have. You genuinely have. We're 100% going to dive into that. So where I would love to start, and feel free to start winding right back to your journey, I think when I first came across you, and our paths crossed very early on into my business and probably into your foray into gardening and lifestyle.
Do you remember what year it was? Because
I don't, but I'm going to say
what year did you start Daily Blooms?
it was 2014.
Okay.
I think it would have been maybe 2016. Like pretty early on into the journey. That's a guess. Do you remember?
I feel like you emailed me before your business even started.
Yeah, possibly.
Because I'm pretty sure when I read the email, it was like, I'm about to start this business. And I remember reading it and I thought, wow, that sounds really cool. Because I can't remember exactly, but I feel like you said that you were leaving a corporate career.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, this is really cool. Like,
Yes.
living your dreams. And
You have a very good memory.
thank you, because I don't know, because it's something I resonate with.
Yes. Which is my question. So we have similar backgrounds.
Yeah.
I know that you did com law at uni. I did com law.
Oh, okay, so that's why I remembered. I think that's why I remembered.
You have gone into gardening like a creative, beautiful pursuit, and I've gone into flowers. I feel like our paths, although different, as quite similar, that we transitioned from pretty sensible, professional, what our parents expected sort of jobs.
See, I forgot that you did com law, so that's probably why I really remember.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So I would love for you to talk to me about how you went from studying that into where you are now. And it doesn't have to be the whole journey, but how did that
I also
transition
want to hear about
happen?
your journey. But so for me, did you study in Monash as well?
No, Deacon.
Oh, okay, yeah. So for me, I guess I had the marks to get into com law, so I felt like, I'll study it just because I can.
Yeah.
I always was interested in like creative things. I wanted to initially study design, but you couldn't really do like a double degree as easily in, like business and design.
No, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
That might exist now, but not then.
Not back then. So I guess that's how I fell into com law. I would say it taught me some good skills, critical thinking,
100%.
writing lots of notes, and like research.
Yes.
But it was not for me. I couldn't picture myself as a barrister. I couldn't picture myself as a solicitor or anything.
I also can't picture that,
Were
but
you?
maybe I know you.
Did you?
For me or for you? No, so I did actually work. I went down the commerce side, so I worked in finance for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I actually did do it.
Yeah.
But now that I'll tell our content girls over there that I worked in finance, and they're like, what? How?
You know what? I feel like despite that, even if you don't follow your, like your education career path, I feel like you learn a lot of things that you can actually apply when you run your own business or whatever you do. Because even though I didn't become a lawyer, I don't know what's going on here. It looks very gardeny.
Yeah.
I feel
It's
like
on brand.
Thank you. I feel like the skills that you learn, they apply to whatever you do. For me, it is working under pressure, critical thinking,
Yes.
and researching really hard to write notes and learn things.
Yes.
So like writing a book.
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
right.
I would love to talk about because
Am I doing this wrong? I didn't know florists don't start putting in the vase.
you are doing it. The thing about flowers is that there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes, in fact, 9 times out of 10, I would make into the vase.
Yeah.
Today, I, for whatever reason, have decided to not do that. And it could be an error. We could get to the end and this could be a fail, but we will see. So I would love to talk about actually writing a book and how did that process come about? Because I think there's a lot of people that would love to write a book, but actually going from the concept of loving to write a book to actually doing it is very different.
Yeah.
How did that happen for you?
Well, I guess I've always, I don't know. Okay, I feel like I want to say I enjoy writing, but also I really hated writing, like as a kid in school.
Yep.
But I think because it was a topic, so I've always been really interested in gardening and like plants. And to me, it was a topic that I really wanted to learn more about.
Yep.
So before I was writing my book, I was writing notes like a law grad. I have lots of notes. I'm always like researching about whatever I'm creating content on. And as I was looking at my notes, which I confess are like hundreds of pages of words long.
Wow.
See, this is where like the law school thing comes in. I was like, oh, it could be a really good book. Like, I've already done the work, right? So I don't know, just kind of naturally, like,
yeah, right.
I guess I've always like I've always been like writing blog posts in the past.
Yes, yeah.
But they've always been really long.
Yes.
I feel like I love my detail. So I don't know, like a book is a really kind of good medium to be able to do that and talk like in depth, maybe too in depth, like about things I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
So I guess.
So it wasn't sort of 1 + 1 = 500. It was kind of 1 + 1 + 1, and you just sort of slowly built to it.
200 = 1,000.
Oh, right. Okay, so there you go. Yeah. And then once you had the idea of writing the book and you started the process, you then, I mean, you are sort of at a huge advantage because you're a photographer as well, right?
Yeah.
So you could lean on not only your, I guess, expertise, but also your writing ability. And then, did you do all the photos in your book?
I did. Oh, I don't know what percentage I did, but I would say quite a few of them, maybe like just over half.
Yeah, right.
I think it was really handy because, you know, when you're writing a gardening book, a lot of the things are happening throughout the year, season by season.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's hard to capture everything.
Yes.
So being able to have, I guess, those flowers, I'm not flowers, talking about flowers, being able to have like those, wow, your bouquet looks really good.
Does it?
Jeez.
I know.
What am I doing?
No, you did. That's awesome.
Thank you. I guess like, so being able to have all of that, like a photo inventory, I felt like was so handy because in the end, you can't really, I mean, you could, but it's hard to have somebody come in, you know, at the specific season and day to be able to capture everything.
Yeah.
So I think that was like really handy to have. And I think it was just really cool to see my photos in a book.
Amazing. Yeah, it would be. It would be like, I suppose you've always seen your photos. You've got a beautiful Instagram feed, so you would have seen them like that, but in physical form.
Yeah.
That's special.
Yeah, I feel like there's something special about being able to hold a book compared to like creating content.
Yes.
It's just
real.
Like, yeah.
Permanent.
It's nice to see it in real life and to see it have a form and be all put together. So
100%.
I'd say it's my favorite project yet.
So can I jump back? We spoke briefly about how you transitioned from this commerce law into gardening.
Yeah.
Where did your love or passion for gardening come from?
I would say probably the fact that I was so fascinated about how plants grow.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how people get into gardening, but for me, I remember in school, and I tell the story a lot, but basically I saw like a seed become a plant that you could eat. And I thought that was so cool. I mean, if you think about it, it's like, you know, science, like photosynthesis, whatever, all of that stuff. But it's pretty magical, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't really have to do much to a plant. You could just let it, some plants just grow by themselves with nature, you know, with the rain and the sun. And I just thought,
for
wow.
You maybe not for some other people.
Well, I felt like, you know, just seeing that is so incredible. And I was just so fascinated. And the fact that you could grow things to eat, that's next level to me. Yeah. So I think that's what got me really, you know, interested in gardening and growing plants, and the fact that you could just grow them in your backyard. You didn't have to rely on like farms or, I don't know, like large scale agriculture. And I would say that's how I got into it. That's like my first love has always been growing food.
Yeah.
Because it felt like a productive kind of thing to grow. I feel like I fell into my flowery love quite soon after, but initially it wasn't because my dad grew a lot of flowers at home, but he was growing like flowers I didn't like.
What kind of flowers?
I feel bad because my publicist really likes them. The azaleas.
Oh yeah, okay.
You got a feed?
So I don't really, because they're not a cut flower, so we don't use them in floristry. But you know what? I remember them from my childhood as well. So maybe
popular in gardens.
Yes. Yeah.
So for me, I think what I really loved were cut flowers. So until I discovered the world of cut flowers. So when I discovered the world of cut flowers, and I realized I could grow those at home, I was obsessed.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, why are people not growing this, right?
But I completely understand the connection between.
You know what? I want to rekindle my love with azaleas. I feel bad. I don't want to offend the flower.
I don't think they mind. You know, I completely understand the connection between growing something and then having the satisfaction of being able to eat it. So your parents, they immigrated before you were born, and I think in your book you mentioned that your mum was a great cook and brought a lot of her amazing and brought a lot of her cooking from the traditional cuisine of China. I wonder how that has impacted your relationship with cooking and food and how that has translated into what you do.
Well, I guess so growing up, through my whole childhood / life, living at home, we were just eating Chinese food.
Yeah.
And so, because my parents, so my dad and I were growing veggies, and they were all Asian veggies, and so it was cool to see it be cooked up by my mom. Yeah. And so when I left, I feel like I wanted to cook more Chinese food, at home.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm living with my partner, I am the boss of the kitchen, right? As in, not my mom.
Yes.
Right? So I can cook whatever I want.
Yes.
Right. So I felt like I was really missing, all of that Asian food she was cooking, and I was missing that in my garden as well. So I think I just started growing Asian veggie. Oh, what is going on here?
Veggie, that happens.
Because it's hard to find, unless you go to really, specialized grocery stores or whatever. It can be hard to find some of the veggies that my mom was cooking with and to find them fresh. So being able to grow that at home was really great. I don't have to leave the house. I just go to my backyard, go shopping.
Yeah, it's so great.
Yeah, it's fresh as you can get.
I'd love to hear how you view food and cooking, the process of cooking and gardening, and how it works, I guess, within Asian culture, if there's something you can speak to about that.
I feel it's quite interesting actually, because I know there's a lot of farming kind of areas in China. My parents didn't actually grow up in kind of a farming area. Shanghai's a really big city, right?
Yeah, of course.
And I guess coming here, it's not something they aspired to do.
Yes.
Because farming is I don't know, I think they came here and they were hoping for more of a, I don't know, a more city life.
Yeah, right. Yes.
Yeah, but my dad kind of started, I think he enjoys it.
Yes.
I'm sure he's been gardening for a decade plus.
You would think you would.
Yeah. I think it's nice to be able to be in touch with nature when you are living in a city.
Yeah.
So often you go outside and there's a lot of buildings, a lot of concrete, but being able to have that connection in your backyard.
Yes, definitely.
I think he really enjoys it, and I think because he can grow things that he's familiar with.
Yes.
I think it's extra special in that way because they've left their country where they grew up and everything, but they're able to kind of have that connection with food that they were really loving overseas.
Yeah.
So I think it's really
makes
nice
sense
in that way.
It makes a lot of sense actually. Totally different topic. On your Instagram feed, you have a post, actually I think you have a few posts about loofahs. I thought of loofahs as the sponge that you have in the shower, and then I saw that you were educating people that they're actually an Asian vegetable that you eat.
Yeah.
And my mind was blown. So I'd love you to just talk to me a little bit about
I
that.
feel like loofahs are such a cool plant because they're so multi-purpose. And I feel like when I find plants like that, it just makes me feel even more like in awe of nature and plants in general. I mean, you can eat a loofah and you can shower with it, right?
I just assumed they were from the sea.
I know, that's a very
I
common.
don't know why.
I don't know why.
They just look like they're from the sea.
I feel like they do look like a sea sponge or something.
Yeah.
And you know cognac sponges?
No, I don't know what a cognac sponge is.
They're like a little skincare sponge, which is actually from the sea.
Oh,
So I feel like that's why.
right. I'm lumping all sponges together.
But no, so loofahs, right? They're really popular veggie that you eat. And they kind of taste like, you know what, I feel hungry right now thinking about it, but they taste like zucchinis in a way. They have a similar texture.
Yeah, right.
But they're obviously loofahs, like different shape. They're a lot longer. And I would say they're a little bit sweeter.
Yeah,
But you only eat loofahs when they're young and like zucchini-like and fleshy.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Because the sponge, like the loofah sponge, is actually when it's grown, you know, really mature.
Yep.
It's sat there on the vine for a while and it started to dry out.
Yes.
Yeah. So the really cool thing about the loofah is that once it matures and dries out, it has that spongy texture.
Yeah, right.
And so, yeah, you can use it as a shower sponge. I feel like it's one of those plants where it's really like multi-purpose in the garden because if you forget to eat it, you've still got a shower sponge. So it's really like value for, you know, in like an urban garden.
It's so clever.
Yeah.
It's so clever.
Yeah, but you would never eat a spongy loofah.
Never.
No.
Never.
Like you would only
it's unappealing.
Yeah, you would only eat it when it looks like a zucchini inside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they're pretty hard to find in like Asian grocers, maybe like in season, but like out of season, like you wouldn't be able to find it.
I've never heard of them. That blew my mind. I had no idea.
It's funny because my dad never knew you could shower with them. And I was like,
so
yeah.
It's so like it's all the way you look at it, right?
Yeah.
In your book you also talk about lessons that you've learned through gardening. So I think you mentioned that the garden has been you've just been inundated with lessons that you've learned.
Yeah. I don't know, it's like something because you hear like gardening, you hear a lot of people say gardening is like really good for, you know, your soul and being outdoors. And I feel like every time I'm in the garden, I see lessons everywhere.
Yeah.
So for example, if I'm looking at, I don't know, like a plant, like a, I don't know, bok choy with leaves that have been eaten by an insect or something.
Yes.
It's nice to like see it, and then it reminds me, like I feel like, oh, this plant is still edible. It's fine if it has a few holes. It's like imperfection is fine.
Yeah.
So things like that, like learning to like embrace like the perfection of imperfection.
Yep.
Like seeing like insects do their thing in the garden and like realizing so many things have to come together to help you grow veggies.
Yes.
Like appreciation of, you know, like everything that happens in the background for things to also work. I don't know, there's just so many lessons in gardening where I feel like it's just, you come back feeling really like grateful, and I don't know, I feel like I've come back feeling really calm, and I gotta say soil is really nice to touch.
Yes.
Well, I don't know what it is.
I can imagine that.
Yeah.
It's like even walking on this, I'm going random here, but walking on grass with bare feet. There's something about that. Or walking on the beach with like sand between your toes.
Studies about
like calming.
Yeah, there's been studies about like soil microbes or something.
Yeah, right.
Like improving your mental health. I can't remember, don't quote me.
Yeah.
But like
There's something there.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, right. And so in your garden, you obviously grow a huge amount of vegetables. That looks beautiful. I love that. Do you love that?
Yeah, I do. I love it. It's so pretty.
It's so whimsical and so wild.
It's making me want to grow lisianthus flowers.
Yeah. And they come in a lot of colours. So there's like a lemony colour, pink, peachy colours, like peachy apricot sort of colours. Yeah, that looks beautiful.
Yeah. I really feel like...
What are you thinking?
Should these?
Yeah, go on.
You know...
Are they tied in? I don't know.
It's okay. It'll be perfect.
There we go.
Thank
So I'd love to.
That is beautiful.
Well, that works. The colours. You obviously grow all these incredible vegetables, but I know that you do have zinnias, dahlias.
Love to talk about flowers.
Yes, you have these beautiful blooms that you're growing alongside vegetables.
Yeah.
Is that something that you do just for fun?
Okay, insert rave time.
Yes, great.
Okay, so I feel like I fell into flowers when I realized I could grow cut flowers. So one of my dreams as a kid was I wanted to be a florist. Like I love flowers. I know, right?
Same dream.
Yeah. So I don't know, because you see in, more like, I don't know, like traditional non-intentional gardens, you see a lot of non-cut flowers.
Yes,
you'll see
do.
Azaleas, rhododendrons, camellias, they're all really popular.
Yep.
But I've never really seen anybody intentionally grow cut flowers.
Yep.
And so I didn't realize it was a thing that I could do. And when I did, I basically wanted to grow every single cut flower that I could get my hands on and just make bouquets and have them in my house. I mean, I think you would know, out of all people, right? You give somebody a bunch of flowers, how could you not have your day brighter, right?
Yeah.
So I
built a business on it. Yes, I agree.
I love being able to make bouquets and gift them or just have them in the house. And it's just such, to me, flowers, to me, veggies are food, right? But flowers are food for your soul.
Yep.
So they feel like a really worthy and important thing to have in my garden, not just because they're so great to have around for people, but also because they're really good in the garden for the insects and improving your veggie harvest.
Yeah, right.
So, did you know how flowers bring in a lot of bees?
They do.
Yeah. So they in turn, bees especially and flies and stuff, they in turn pollinate, your veggies that need pollination. And so I plant as many flowers as I can fit in as veggies in my garden, and everything just works together.
Yeah,
and I've never seen
balance.
I've never seen so many insects in my garden since I put my flowers in. It's just a win-win, beautiful place to be in the garden. And I wish I could grow more and more flowers, but I also want to grow my food.
That is I'm so happy to hear that.
Nobody really grows cut flowers.
People don't grow cut flowers. Yeah.
Why?
I think they're harder to grow.
So that's the thing. They're not harder to grow, which was I don't know why I didn't know that until I started as well.
You know what? I just assumed they were as well. I had no idea either.
They're really easy to grow. I mean, I grow all of these at home except for this seed.
Which is about to change, maybe.
Yeah. But they're really easy to grow. Anybody could really grow flowers. I feel like nothing here is particularly difficult to grow in the garden. You can grow dahlias even in pots.
Yes, okay. Because my mum grows dahlias in her garden, and I think in pots as well.
You can actually get dwarf dahlias that are they grow about that tall, but the flowers are full size, so you can still use them.
Oh, it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So, the more I found out about cut flowers in the garden, the more I was wow, you can grow these. So yes, it is another one of my hidden loves. So hidden, I would say.
If you were to, I guess, provide some guidance or some help to our audience, to me, to our team here.
Oh, you have so many flowers here.
I actually have a Spanish house, and so our garden is very Mediterranean. Ooh. So we have a few flowers, but there's also just a lot of greenery that kind of goes into it. What are your do's and don'ts for growing a successful garden? Flowers, vegetables, both.
Compost.
Okay.
So I feel like the most important thing is probably having fertile and nice soil, which is really important to work with. So adding a lot of organic matter is really important too, because I don't know, most gardens that I can think of, if the soil hasn't really been worked, it's probably just whatever the builder garden
and remnants of building materials probably.
I found a lot of weird things in my garden digging it up, but I think once you start kind of building that soil, and organic matter like compost is really important, everything else just falls together.
And what about a don't? Is there anything that you should avoid?
I think perfection.
Okay, great.
Yes, because I feel a lot of people are like scared to get started in case, it doesn't work out, but it's the only way to learn, right? Yeah. So
100%.
nothing really goes that much wrong. I mean, if you're growing flowers and stuff, maybe they might die, but you try again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. It's just like arranging them, right?
Yeah.
It's, there's no such thing as a wrong flower placement. Perfection is what kills creativity.
Yeah. I think it's just giving it a go, and just learning in the process, and you'll definitely get there. Yeah.
This looks spectacular, by the way.
Thank you.
The orange rose.
Yeah.
Would I call it orange? It's like a sunset.
Would you call it apricot?
You could say apricot.
I think
It's beautiful. It's that nice pop of
I
colour.
don't know what I'm doing.
I think it looks great.
Thanks. Oh, wow.
Mine's sort of a bit of a little round one today.
See, I like to
I love that.
do
I love
the
that.
dance,
Wild and whimsy.
but I don't know what I'm doing half the time. I just
beautiful.
go for it.
It's beautiful. I would love to finish up by asking if you could give a bouquet or a bunch of flowers to anybody in the world,
Yeah.
and who would it be and why?
Oh, that's easy. My sister.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, she's like my favorite person in the world. Okay, no, I shouldn't say that. My husband's great too. But yeah, she moved to Perth, and she's just been like such a good help in like everything I've done, and like such a big support. So when she was living in Melbourne, she'd help me with like a lot of my photography. It's like my second person and everything.
Oh, that's so nice.
She loves flowers, and I'll tell you what, like a couple of years ago, I think I must have been away somewhere, and it was my birthday, and she was like house sitting, and she made an arrangement very similar to this.
Oh, that's
And
so sweet.
I know, from my garden, because I had like these flowers growing, and she left it on the table, and I was like, wow, I thought it was I thought she bought it because it looks so good.
Wow.
And she told me they were from my garden, because I'd never arranged flowers like that before. Like, it's so nice to see somebody else's,
Somebody else do it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
She cut flowers that I had never thought about using, so tansy. I don't know, like I don't really reach for it because it's not a traditional cut flower.
Yeah.
It's
I don't actually know what it is.
Okay, I hope I'm not wrong, but they look yellow and they look a little bit like Achilles.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway,
look that up.
So this kind of was inspired by her, because when she made the bouquets around this time of the year, so same seasonal flowers, I think I'd like to make one back for her.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love that answer. That's a great answer. Just before we wrap up, I would love for you to share where people can reach you.
Yeah. So my Instagram page is at Connie and Luna. A lot of people ask me who Luna is. Luna now exists. She's my chicken. Lavender Araucana. She's very cute. You should check her out.
I will. I've heard all about your chickens. I will check them out.
And also my book is Your Asian Veggie Patch. It is in bookshops around the world, wherever you get your books. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Connie. It was so nice having you on.
Oh, thank you.
And so let's just do a little turn of our flower, or little to the camera, look of our flowers.
It's so cool. I love how
That's so pretty. I love that. And look how different they are. The same flowers, so different.
I love being able to be creative and like do your own twist.
Yeah,
thing.
I love it too.